Hey guys, it's WCWA Bossman, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on last night's Raw after watching it today, actually. And personally, that is by far the best Raw that they've had since DX originally came back in '07, was it? If I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, this one tonight was really good. They finally started pushing Gail Kim. Thank God. Gail Kim won a women's fatal four-way match against Beth Phoenix, Alicia Fox, and Kelly Kelly to get a future Divas Championship match against Mickie James. I'm hoping they put this on SummerSlam because a lot of people have been griping on the Divas matches, except for Night of Champions. And I think Gail Kim and Mickie James are going to have an amazing match. They also, on Raw last night, they brought back Eugene, which I thought that the guy that plays him was still on the Independents. Guess I was wrong. But they had Eugene face the Calgary Kid in a contract and a pole match. The Calgary Kid beat Eugene, and what a shock, we all find out that it's The Miz. But that was actually a good angle too, that wasn't half bad. The biggest and best thing of the night was the fact that they had Triple H on a hunt for Shawn Michaels in Texas, and they had Triple H track Shawn Michaels down to some office building cafeteria in Texas where Shawn Michaels was being a cook. And they had 3 separate segments on the show. They were all hilarious. They were all just awesome Triple H and Shawn Michaels stuff. And apparently now we get Legacy versus DX at SummerSlam. And in my opinion, this is going to show the total demise of Legacy, because WWE is not going to let Legacy beat DX. So that's where that one's going for sure. Speaking of Legacy, they had Legacy take on Hornswoggle and Mark Henry. They actually put Legacy over, but sadly it took a fat guy and a midget to put Legacy over, which says what WWE's done to Rhodes and DiBiase. And the fact is, I wouldn't have minded if they did something to Mark Henry to win the match, but the fact that Cody Rhodes hit his Dream Street move on Hornswoggle when his entire arm covers the man's body is just total overkill. And I respect the guy that does the Hornswoggle character, but from a standpoint of being a person of the stature he is, I would be telling WWE that I don't want to be put in those situations anymore, because it makes them look bad, it makes them look foolish, and in my opinion, it's not entertaining, but it just showed how bad WWE's booked and done with Legacy, if they're having Legacy get over by beating Mark Henry and Hornswoggle, aka Big Guy and a Midget. You know, I gotta say too that Chris Jericho did an amazing promo, and for most of the night you thought that the fans in Canada, because of the reaction to Chris, and because they were in Calgary where Chris lived for 9 years, that they were going to be so into Jericho and so against Cena. And it turned out that Jericho cut a tremendous promo where he thought that his promo was over and they went to commercial, and he started saying all this negative stuff about Canada and really got him really humongous heel heat. And it was the greatest thing that I've ever seen out of a what in the business you would call a Canadian flip. Another thing they mentioned was the fact that, Sergeant Slaughter was the guest GM, and he did everything in his power to basically act like he was remote. He would do things to infuriate the Canadian crowd, and then a couple times after the first time, he would come back and say, "I'm sorry, I apologize," and try to make him think that he was gonna do something to praise Canada, and never did. And to be honest with you, they gotta stop with this guest GM stuff, because yeah, Jeremy Piven might have been good, and Shaq was good, but I think they gotta stick with a wrestler to be a GM, because they're just dying as far as guest host. I mean, come on. Next week's guest host is Freddie Prinze Jr. Freddie Prinze Jr.? You couldn't find anybody better than Freddie Prinze Jr. to guest host Raw? Come on. He was famous back in the mid-90s. Mid to late 90s with the teen movies he did. That's about it. He's not famous for anything freaking else. So, I don't know. I'm just getting fed up with the bad GMs. Shaq was good, Piven was good, but all this other stuff that they're doing is just, they gotta find one permanent GM, because it's just getting ridiculous. And that's what I have to say about Raw. It was the best they've had in a while. I hope they can keep it going. This is WCWA Bossman, and I will catch you all next time.